Hi everyone, hope you're doing well and happy Valentine's Day to you and all of your loved ones, no matter who you're celebrating with. And if you're celebrating by yourself, I hope that you're taking the time to treat yourself extra nicely today and give yourself some love. So I decided to do 3 looks, 3 palettes for the first time ever. And we're going to be using all Juvia's Place eyeshadows because they are my February eyeshadows for my Shop My Stash. So here you just see me putting on the Marc Jacobs eye primer that I've been using and setting all of that with a couple of shades from my little Lorac Pro eyeshadow palette. And the shades I use to set my primer are Bare and Linen. Now we're breaking into the Juvia's Place DOUCE palette, which I really like and I've had for quite a while. And I'm going to be taking the Creme shade, which is the light pink in the top right corner, and just buffing that into my crease with a Morphe brush. I'm going to try to see if I can find it and tell you guys exactly which one this is. I believe it came either in a set or maybe I purchased it separately, but I think I got it on Hot Look years ago. It's the MB23. So I'm just going to be applying that a few times and just buffing that in to my crease. And then I'm going to go in with the more rich magenta color. It's called Custard. And it's a really, really lovely pink. And we're just going to build that up. And for this, I'm using a Wet n Wild brush, which came in a set a couple years back. I can't remember how many brushes came in it. I want to say about 10 or 15. And I think it was a $30 set that they had exclusive to Walgreens initially. I think since then they have come out with similar sets every holiday season, but I think that was one of the first ones that they did, and I remember it was quite popular at the time, and I'm really enjoying some of the Wet n Wild brushes that came in that set to this day. So I'm going to be doing sort of a halo eye. You see me here applying that shade a little bit more firmly packed into both the outer and inner V, and then blending all of that out. I went ahead and used another brush called the Vintage Cosmetics Company brush that came in a BoxyCharm. And now I'm taking the shade Puffs and spraying that a bit down, and I am applying that with a brush by Luxie. This is a Luxie brush, the 211, and this is actually a concealer brush, but I love to use it as a packing brush. And then I'm blending all of that out again with the same Wet n Wild brush I was using earlier. And then here you just see me blending those 2 colors out. I think I added a little bit more of the custard shade just to build whatever color was lost during blending in the outer V, and then of course I'm going to do the same thing for the other eye. Again, I'm just deepening everything out a little bit, making sure everything's blended. And now we're moving down to the lower lash line, and I am taking the Vintage Cosmetic Company brush again, and I'm going in with the custard shade. And then I decided to actually do a little bit of a silver pop on the lower lash line, and I'm taking a shade called Mont Blanc and applying that on my lower lash line. I did end up having to spray down that Mont Blanc, the silver shade, and then I ended up also taking it into my inner corner a little bit. So after applying some eyeliner and mascara, I'm using the Ilia mascara and SEPHORA eyeliner. I am finishing up with the lips. I am taking a Jordana lip liner in Baby Berry, and over that I'm going to use the Bite Beauty gloss in Opal. And this is actually a little trick I just recently saw Samantha March do, and I've seen other makeup artists do this to kind of make your lips look a little fuller, to draw the little lines kind of like in the middle and on the sides of your lips a little bit. And then after I've applied the Opal gloss from Bite Beauty, that is going to be my look there. So I hope you guys like this first look. It's very soft and pink with a little bit of pop of silver on the bottom. We're gonna move on to the second look. For the second look, I'm going to be using my Juvia's Place Masquerade palette, which is another palette I've had for a little bit. In fact, I still have the big size. They make a mini now, which I kind of wish I had, but that's all right. I am again setting my eyelids with the same combination, the Marc Jacobs primer, and then the shade Bare and Linen from my Lorac Pro Matte palette. And then I'm going in with the shade Burkina from the Masquerade palette. It's in the third row, and it's the nice mid-toned cool brown. Well, I don't know if it's cool, probably more neutral brown. And I'm going to be just blending that into my crease with my Morphe MB23 brush again. And then after that, I'm going to take the same brush and I'm going to go in with the shade Bori, which is a hot pink. And it does have micro glitter in there, but I don't feel like it comes across in the eye. I feel like if you blend it in, most of that glitter honestly disappears. We are going to go for all pinks and reds today with all three of these looks pretty much. And so I wanted to have a little bit of that brown just to give it some dimension and just to give it that transitional color. But primarily, we are still going to make sure that the pinks and the purples stand out. So just blending that in. And then going in with a MAC 217 brush, I'm going to pack in the shade Zobo, which is a matte purple, like a raspberry purple. And I'm going to put that in my outer V primarily, just to deepen that up a bit, and then blend it out into the crease a little bit. Now going in with the shade Giza, which is a beautiful champagne. It is just so pigmented and so shiny, you can see. I mean, it really pops. And I do wet my brushes usually before applying shimmers. Although these, honestly, you probably don't even have to. I just do it to avoid fallout and just to have a bit more of a smoother finish, since my eyelids are not super smooth, being that I am in my late 30s. And then I'm blending all that out again with my MAC 217. Sometimes I add a little bit more color if I feel like I have blended a lot of it away, which is what you see me doing right there. And I'm just going to continue blending and adding a little bit more color if I feel necessary. And then with my Sigma E40, I'm just blending everything with no additional product. Now, I decided to go in with a really beautiful rich purple shade called Makeda, and I am using that kind of like a liner, basically. I'm not doing any wing liner, gel liner, pen liner. I'm not very good at any of those things, but I do sometimes add some eyeshadow instead of that, just for a pop of color. So that's what you see me doing here, is I'm basically going to be packing that shade right into my lash line just to create that liner effect, but with eyeshadow. I'm also going to take that same purple shade, that Makeda shade, and pack it into the outer lower lash line just to combine what's happening on my upper lash line and kind of make it all cohesive. And now I'm using a Wet n Wild, no, I'm sorry, my apologies. Now I'm using my e.l.f. pencil brush. It's the 202 brush, and I love these brushes. I have a few of them, and I am taking the color Zobo and blending everything in. Basically, whatever colors I've been using on the upper lash line, I'm using the same colors to blend the lower lash line, and I'm kind of going from darkest to lightest. So you know, from Makeda down to Zobo to Bori, and then to Burkina, which was the initial brown that I used at the beginning. Then I'm going to use Giza in my inner corner. That's the same shade that I have all over the lid. And then, of course, we're going to do some eyeliner and mascara. Voila. After that, we're going to take my Charlotte Tilbury Lip Cheat lip liner in Pillowtalk. And I do line and fill my lips. And what I decided to do is I actually took the color Bori, the eyeshadow Bori, and I patted that on my lips. And then I took my Marc Jacobs gloss in Sugar Sugar and I put that over. So that's the finished look. I'm sorry I didn't even put earrings or anything for this, guys. This is my first time doing it. I didn't even get a chance to record this in person for you. I was going to, and instead I'm doing a voiceover, as you can tell. So my apologies, but it's the best I can do for the first time. This is going to be our third look. So now we're using the Juvia's Place Warrior 3 palette. And this is the first time I'm ever using this palette. I purchased it during Black Friday. I've watched Angelica Nyquist's Juvia's Place ranking and recommendations, and I really fell in love with this palette. And this is the first time I ever used it. So I'm only going to be using, to be honest, a couple of shades from here, but I really enjoyed it for the first time using it. So I'm going in with the red matte, the really beautiful red in the upper right corner. It's called Kahina, I believe. And I am buffing that into my crease with the same Morphe brush. I did this all on 3 separate days, and I did clean my brushes in between. And then after going in with Kahina, I'm going to take the other red, the more orangey red in this palette called Jarawa, I believe. And I'm going to pack that in. Now, what you'll see me doing is using my Sigma E40 to first blend out the Kahina shade. And then I'm also going in with the same Sigma brush and adding that orangey red, the Jarawa shade, into my crease. So I basically first went in with the Morphe brush. I didn't feel like it was fluffy enough. And then I switched brushes and mixed those 2 colors into my crease. After that, I'm going to go back into Kahina, which is the initial red that we used. And on my MAC 217, I'm packing that a little bit more densely into the outer V. You can see I'm kind of tapping it in instead of blending it in at first, just because I wanted the pigment to be a little bit more concentrated in that area as opposed to quite diffused in the crease. So that's what I'm doing there. And then I'm following that up with this stunning purple called Candace. And I am packing that with the same MAC 217 also into my outer V, just to add some dimension and give it a little bit more of a purpley tone. Now I'm blending everything out again with my Morphe brush, And then because this palette didn't have a light shimmer shade, in fact, the only two shimmers in this palette are a beautiful blue and a beautiful silver, and I didn't really want anything like that. So I'm actually going in with my highlighter in OFRA Pillowtalk. It's what I have on my cheeks and my nose, so I figured to pull that look together, I'm actually going to use my highlighter as my all over shimmer, and that's what you see me packing all over my lid right now with my MAC 239 brush. I did spray my brush, and I'm putting that into my inner corner as well. Now on camera, for some reason, the two eyes looked different in terms of the amount of shine that highlighter gave all over my lids, but in person it was actually the same. I think it's because my ring light is off to the side instead of hitting me directly straight on, so it was probably lighting up one half of my face more so than the other. So now we're going to do the lower lash line. We're going to take the shade Candice, that beautiful purple right in the center of the palette, and just pack that on the outer half of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to take the shade Kahina again, and we're going to pack that into the lower lash line and then blend everything out with Jurawa. After that, I'm just applying my Sephora eyeliner, which is in my Pan project, and the same Ilia mascara that I've been using all month. And then for lips, I guess with this look, I really probably should have gone for nude, but I kind of wanted to go out with a bang on this Valentine's Day look. So I went for a red lip. I first started with a MILANI lip liner, which I have a little bit of a stubby left on. And I think because it's old, it's just not applying quite as well as it used to. I love the MILANI lip liners, but this one is on its legs, to be honest. So at some point, you will see me actually go in with a NYX liner instead. The NYX liner is in hot red. After that, I'm taking my Sephora Lip Cream liquid lipstick in 01. I think it's called Always Red. It's one of my favorite liquid lipsticks of all time, and it is also in my Project Pan. And there we have it. That is my first ever look with the Warrior 3 palette by Juvia's Place. I hope you enjoyed these 3 looks. I know we had quite a bit of a pink and red and purple theme going on, but I thought it was appropriate considering how that is currently what is being released and what is very much in trend. And if you enjoyed these, please comment down below. Please let me know which one was your favorite. Please let me know what, if anything, you're doing for Valentine's Day. And whatever it is, I hope you're taking care of yourself. I hope you're spending time with loved ones or with your fur babies, or if you're on your own, just taking the time to enjoy the day and treat yourself. Thank you again so much for watching. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys very soon in my next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.